welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday, and of course all the time online at greatlakeshondacity.com, where you can check their inventory, see what is available for new and used, buy and lease today from Great Lakes Honda City. I appreciate your patience here this morning. This is a very, very monumental day for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, and for the Big West. And it is my honor and my privilege to let you know exactly what that looks like in just a moment. As we're up and down the East Coast, the West Coast, and all around the globe, including the Midwest, we appreciate you being here with us on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on wakeupcalldt.mixlr.com for internet streaming radio. Keep in mind that once the shows go live, they hop into the archive on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and you can also ask your Alexa or Google device to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they will do that for you as well. Here on the Friday broadcast, those of you that know the show know that we have a trio of segments that join you on Friday morning, that being the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by the Baked Potato Express, and then LEAD, the acronym Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. The Top Dog of the Week is announced, presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, and an all-new segment that will round out the week every single week is known as Journey Out West, and that is exactly what we're doing. We will head out west every Friday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Time for those of you on the Pacific Coast, and that segment is part of our overarching plan with the Big West to bring you something that collegiate athletics has never had around the country, which is a partnership truly like this. Today's the inaugural episode of Journey Out West, and that Journey Out West episode will feature the Director of Athletics from Sacramento State, a new member of the Big West. Mark Orr will be joining me this morning live from the West Coast to tell the story of not only his journey on how he got to where he is today, but also the journey of Sacramento State to the Big West. They're one of the newest members of the conference as they have expanded and truly living their tagline, Only the Bold, signing this partnership, and right before that happened, literally a month before that happened, on July 1st, signing on 3 full member schools to come into the Big West, Sacramento State being one of those schools, joined by Cal Baptist and also having Utah Valley join the conference. So Sacramento State making history a little over a month ago, and they'll make history here today as the first episode of the Journey Out West with Mark Orr, their Director of Athletics. So with that being said, let's jump into the first piece of every Friday broadcast and the longest standing segment on Wake Up Call, which I always appreciate doing. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by the Baked Potato Express. There's nothing annoying about the Baked Potato Express. Go and check them out today. They are all around the community. They're at the Lakeview Amphitheater for a bunch of the concerts happening in Syracuse, New York. They will be at the New York State Fair. Of course, you'll find them at Great Northern Mall for the food truck rodeos that go on there, as well as Northern Lights. And you can have them at your event. All you have to do to schedule the Baked Potato Express to see if they're available is to email them at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com. That is thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com. Shoot them a message and see if they can come out to your event, and you can obviously go out to their events all throughout the community, with plenty coming up here in August as well as September, and so on and so forth. So the Annoying Moment of the Week. Let's hop right in. So the Annoying Moment of the Week has been about a lot of different things over time. And the Annoying Moment of the Week for today, for this week, would have to do with something that smells a little fishy. And that is the fact that I went with my girlfriend to a restaurant called, well, I'm not going to say the name. I'm going to leave the name out of it. They're not a partner of the show, and they never will be if this is the food that they make. But we went to this restaurant, and first and foremost, the whole reason why we went to the restaurant is there are restaurants that do this thing where they pretend that there's a difference between lunch and dinner. And so they close for an hour, even though the entire staff is there, all the tables are set, everything's. I mean, you could have people traveling that don't know from outside of the country, or maybe they're coming from a different state, or whatever it may be. But you get there, and let's say it's 3:30, and they close from 4 to 5. So we were left with, this is where we want to eat. This is what we were looking forward to. And you know this, those of you that are watching and listening, you know that there's places that you love to go to that, or you want to try for the first time, you get really excited about it. So if something were to happen, if they were closed for a little while or whatever it may be, you get frustrated, right? Because you came all that way and you want to enjoy what you were truly looking forward to. So we went in, they told us, hey, we're closed for an hour. So we had to figure out something to do. We hadn't eaten all day. So we went to this other restaurant and sat outside. It was really nice and had the opportunity to enjoy the weather. We ordered something that typically only I like, and don't know a lot of people that enjoy getting octopus, but my girlfriend enjoys that as well. So I said, great. We've had it before. We went to a fantastic restaurant that had it and really spoiled us. And I was spoiled out in Italy as well in the way that they prepared it. So we gave it a shot and thought, what could go wrong, right? You don't really think too much into it. You just know what you like. So we ordered the octopus and it came out, and it did not have the texture of octopus. It had the texture of kind of imitation crab meat, so to speak. Smelled like tuna, didn't have a great taste. And the weirdest thing about food is if chicken smells like chicken, you like it. If steak smells like steak, you like it. But when fish smells like fish, people don't want to eat it. And so this was very fishy, very tuna-y, very chicken of the sea. And I gave it a shot. I gave it a try. We sent it back. It was supposed to be char grilled. We asked them to do it again. They did it again. And I think other restaurants would kind of take the plate back and then prepare new octopus, right? They would put something new together instead of just heating something up that you're handing back to them. That did not happen. This was our plate. It was cooked a little bit more and still smelled and tasted like tuna to me. So that was the first part of my annoying moment of the week, was really looking forward to octopus, but then realizing that either they did cook it all the way or my stomach has gotten stronger over the years, which I'm proud of. The second thing was, really, it was all of the food. It was getting the other part of the meal, which was totally wrong. I believe we ordered calamari and shrimp, and we got rice balls, which I know they sound the same, but they're not the same. So yeah, getting the order wrong, nothing really tasting good, and then having to wait for the other place. Now, granted, when we finally got to the other restaurant, the food was really good. And, I would go back there. We found out it was connected to a restaurant that we really love. So to me, there was a lot of good that came afterward, but it was just that initial and what you expect, and the service too. I think we were arguably maybe the only table that was there. So if you're the only table in the entire restaurant, or one of maybe two or three, you would think like, hey, let's get this thing right. But it felt more like, hey, let's mail it home and get these people out of here. So, not a fan, will not go back. And yeah, I can honestly say I've never had octopus made that way. I hope it never happens again to me or her. Or to anybody. I think it's a travesty. But, imitation crab meat, growing up as a kid, that's what you had. You go to Wegmans and they had imitation crab meat. So I got used to trying that, but then you have actual crab meat and you realize that they're not even close to being the same in any way, shape, or form. And I genuinely did not know that you could fake octopus, but you can fake octopus. And they tried, they attempted, my palate read it too well, and it didn't work out. So that would be my annoying moment of the week. proudly presented by the Baked Potato Express. I'm sure there's more. I know there's one that always stays on my mind of the people that block the lane and then get in the other lane. So I'm not going to name that off. But I will say this to Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. I have said on the show many times that I would happily run against you. Not even to win, just to stick up for upstate New York, since you don't care about us. And my roads have been so torn apart that our three major highways in Syracuse, which are 81, 690, and 481, they are all under construction currently. Then, in the infinite wisdom of our governor and our politicians, they decided to take the on-ramps, the off-ramps, the bridges, and now they're doing side streets, main roads, and they're doing all the hospital areas currently. So this has led to a 20-minute drive being an hour and a half. It's led to a lot that's happened here. And I can honestly say that I don't think there's anybody in Syracuse or upstate New York that is a fan of what is happening currently. I would suggest that maybe we stagger what we're doing so that possibly people could, get to work within 20 to 30 minutes as opposed to an hour and a half. I mean, seeing the traffic that I've seen in Syracuse it's been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible. And knowing the state fair is coming and all the traffic that creates, I just feel bad for people. My commute is not somebody else's commute. And I feel for the people that used to take 20 minutes to get somewhere. Now it takes them an hour. I feel for that. And I know that, things needed to be reconstructed or reconfigured or maybe made better. And I'm not against improvement. I'm just a man of common sense. And being a man of common sense provokes me to suggest that maybe doing everything at the same time was not the right way to go. And that's what happened, and it's unfortunate. But I'd be happy to run against you. I would be happy to put my name in the hat because I don't owe anybody anything. Not saying that you do, but I don't owe anybody anything, and I can look out for my city the way I want to look out for my city. So I'd be happy to look out for my city that way. It's been enough. And I think people are beyond frustrated. I don't care what political party you belong to or affiliated with. I don't think it's about that as much as it's just about common sense and common courtesy and creating traffic in Syracuse that didn't exist before. And then, stating that potentially it may only get worse over the years, and one of the things I love the most about my city is the fact that we are not constantly congested. Like Syracuse is big enough, but we're not too big. We're big enough to have some traffic. We're not big enough to have traffic that's going to, double your ride home. Even when you're coming out of a game, like I would say probably the most traffic is probably coming out of the fair or the Lakeview Amphitheater, but you anticipate that, right? You're going to the fair. It's the New York State Fair. People coming from all over the state, from out of state. And we do it up big in Syracuse. And it's a very prideful thing for me that we have the state fair. I love that. So, I know that creates traffic. I used to work at the fair. I worked at the grandstand and the Lakeview Amphitheater. Listen, since it's open, it's had phenomenal concerts. I want to give credit to everyone that's working on bringing in the acts that come into Syracuse, New York. It's great money for the community. And it's great experiences. The concerts have been phenomenal. I think Jelly Roll was one of the recent ones, and that was very well attended. So, there are things that like I know when I'm driving home, when certain things are going on, if I'm driving by the fair or if I'm driving by the Lakeview Amphitheater, I understand on certain days certain things are going to happen. But it's every day in Syracuse now, and you don't know. I mean, there was one day that I had to drive in for a meeting and the roads were fine. And then a couple hours later, I was driving on the same highway and they had taken the 3 lanes down to 1 lane just within a couple hours. And so you never really know, and it's hard to get places. And I would say my other kind of connection to that annoying moment of the week is the fact that some places are not understanding. Like my doctor's office has a 5-minute grace period, even with all of the construction. And the construction is like surrounding my doctor's office. And it's only gotten worse. And so to allot us 5 minutes instead of 15 minutes, which is typical, and then maybe saying, okay, the 15 is going to be 20. Listen, when you get to a doctor's office, if you get there, I mean, I've gotten to a doctor's office 12 minutes early and waited an hour to be seen. So the doctor can always be late, but the patient can't be. And I don't think that's fair. When you show up and you sit in the waiting room and you're waiting there for a half an hour, I think when I went to a hospital in Pennsylvania, I waited for 4 hours, over 4 hours. But you can't be 6 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, especially with all the construction going on right now. So I'm not saying to support being late. I'm not saying to promote or provoke people being late. I'm just saying have some courtesy. This city is in a state that it's never been in before. We have never been ripped to shreds like this. And the reason why I bring it up is because, again, whether you're political or not, whether you have a party or you don't, it doesn't matter. What matters is everybody in Syracuse and Central and Upstate New York is affected by this. We're affected by it in our commute. We're affected by it if you're a business owner and they're ripping apart your city so there's not places to park, or people, can't park right in front of your restaurant, or it's hard for them to get to you. I had to go to the hospital I had an appointment there and I had to have a test done. The hill going up to the hospital is already a really steep hill and already not the greatest of traffic pattern. And they've ripped up the majority of that road. So now you got patients that could be in a lot of pain driving through this rocky construction that's totally uneven. And, I remember when I had my hernia surgery that driving over a bump would bother me because literally the slightest of movements was not the greatest feeling. And so I feel for people that are far worse than having hernia surgery, having to drive through that, or an ambulance trying to get somebody into the emergency room that's rushing through there, has to slow down and go through Jurassic Park type of roads just to get into the hospital. So again, I understand certain things need to be done. Do they all need to be done on the same day at the same time that even the back roads have traffic? It's not fair to us that this decision was made. And I believe it was made by people that may not know the city, may not know the area, may not even visit or care enough about it. And I'm not saying that it comes down to one person. I'm just saying that when it comes to the governor of New York's desk, I expect better planning. I expect better execution. And it makes me wonder, did you get a bunch of money that you had to use by a certain time? Were there contracts that were being pushed? Did you owe somebody something to have all this done at the time that it was done simultaneously? It's not fair. It's not fair to the people of upstate New York to have to deal with. I mean, they're trying to create New York City traffic for us where it's unnecessary. And next year, they might be closing down an entire eastbound part of the highway. I have no idea where those people are going to go. So, again, planning and execution. You can't just do and hope for the best. I mean, sometimes you wing it, but when it comes to roads and repair and traffic patterns, you can't just wing it. And the people of my community, they deserved a better plan. And hopefully, at some point, they can look to correct this. Kathy Hochul, everybody in Syracuse, our mayor, maybe there's a way that we can adjust the plan a little bit. And as we've seen it completely rip apart the city, maybe you can ad lib and make an adjustment. The next segment on the show is about ad-libbing, so we'll talk about it right after this fast break. This has been the annoying moment of the week. Stop ripping up my city, and please cook your octopus. The Baked Potato Express bringing you this annoying moment of the week. Thank you for being here with us inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. History in the making today as we round out this morning's show with the Journey Out West, a huge part of our partnership with the Big West Conference in its entirety and all of its full members. We make history at 10:15 a.m. this morning, 7:15 a.m. Pacific time. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Gina Husted. I'm part owner of Skippy's Ice Cream. The other half is my better half, Don Husted Jr. When somebody comes up to the truck and it's a family, it's nice that the older generation is nostalgic and they can tell the younger generation, back in my day, we used to have the truck around our neighborhood. So now you're lucky because the truck can come to your party, and you're lucky that this truck is at a festival and you're getting to buy the ice cream. And basically we're ice cream that comes to you now, specifically comes to you, not for you waiting for us. We're coming to you. We will do neighborhoods if you have a block party. We do birthdays, we do anniversaries, we do celebrations of life, we do wedding showers, we do festivals, we'll do corporate events, we have a lot of corporate picnics, we have family reunions, so it's a whole wide range of whatever party you have, we'd love to be at. We're so appreciative of the community, always coming up to us at festivals and calling us to have different events. We have a lot of return customers. We always have people coming up to our truck. We're always there for the community. We always try to give back to different organizations and fundraisers, and so I think the community sees that. We like to give back to them. This is where we live. This is where we were raised. This is where our kids were raised. So the community is very special to us. I mean, obviously we've lived here our whole lives. So it means a lot that they come up to our truck and that they choose us, because we're just there to please the community and deal with as many people as we can in this community, because this is, like I said, where we were born and raised. If you'd like to get in touch with Skippy's Ice Cream and have us at your next event, I would suggest using our email, skipthecake, skipthecake, skipthecake@gmail.com. That's the fastest way to get a hold of us. It's the easiest way to get a hold of us, and that's going to get the fastest response from us. If you choose to call, if you don't have an email, then you can call 315-456-9750, and we'll be glad to get back to you as soon as we can. Skippy's Ice Cream, the original ice cream truck.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and then those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Happy to be here hanging out with you where sports truly meets that thing called life, and appreciate you being here Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We've had specials running all throughout the month of July into August, and I appreciate all of you for navigating with me as we've broken up the show into specials. So typically it's a 2-hour plus broadcast that runs straight through, but because of all the interviews with the Big 12 and the ACC, as well as the American and all of our commissioner corners, we've been putting them out as individual videos. And so, one at 9 o'clock, one at 10 o'clock. So I appreciate you navigating through that, clicking on each of the videos, and for being there with us through all of this, as the content that I've been giving and working to do here, obviously something that is unique to my company, unique to what's being seen around the country, and I feel like we're best served by having those specials be individual. So, those of you Rice University fans can go straight to the OWL interviews, those that want to hear from Unison Sports and their unique take on collegiate athletics, bonding the Atlantic Sun with the UAC, as well as hearing from the commissioner of the ACC and getting to see my sit-down conversations with so many different student athletes, coaches, and leaders in collegiate athletics over these last few weeks. Definitely wanting you to have that direct line to that, which is why I feature them as their individual videos as opposed to having a 2-hour broadcast all the way through. So thank you for adjusting with that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you missed anything, or if you're new to the show and you want to check it out, the best way to do it is go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can find all of our playlists that are there. Essentially, the episodes of everything we do with the ACC, with college football, with the college football playoff, with the NBA, with Major League Baseball, NFL, so on and so forth. You can find it all neatly put together by playlist on our YouTube channel, which is at Wake Up Call DT. And of course, you can go to the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com and get a bunch of these national broadcasts that are available to you simply by going and bookmarking wakeupcalldt.com. Inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, it is now time for Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver. That is the acronym presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, the first ever Chick-fil-A in Central New York. Shout out to my brother, Jim Sakowski, and the whole team over at Chick-fil-A in Cicero. Today's topic is remove the rot. Remove the rot. What do I mean by that? Well, you ever seen somebody go and, prune a tree and take care of, their outside foliage and whatnot? You take out all that is dead, right? All that bore no fruit. And what remains is what is growing, what is evolving, what is bearing fruit. There's a part of the Bible that speaks about being the vine, right? And that if Jesus were to walk by you if he was to be on a road and he came across you and you were a tree, are you bearing fruit or are you not? What comes from your branches? And so I think it's really important to think about that in your daily life. Where are you putting your energy? Are you putting your energy into things that are dead ends, or are you putting your energy into things that are bearing fruit? You have to, and there's multiple meanings. Where are we putting our energy is one of those meanings of remove the rot. But another part of it is seeing the things that are not healthy, not fruitful in our lives. And to everybody, that could be something different. But it is a constant thing. See, some people think you go to therapy, you figure it out, you're done, right? I went for 3 months, I'm good for the rest of my life. Some people think you take a pill, right, and you lose a bunch of weight. Or, if you want to lose weight, you go and get liposuction and then it's over. But what about your eating habits, right? If you don't change your eating habits, you don't change anything about what you're doing in your life, and you get liposuction or you take a pill and it works, you're going to be right back to where you were because you didn't change your habit. You had a quick fix. If you go to therapy at 15 years old and then you never touch it again, it's not a bad idea to go back. And it's not saying that you haven't grown, learned, evolved, or maybe figured out that problem at 15. But what about the problem at 40? What about the problem at 60? What about something that's on your mind? None of us lives a perfect life, and none of us have all the answers. There's no one on the planet that's the smartest person in the world. There's always something else coming along, something else to learn. There's no one on this planet that can learn everything, know everything. There just isn't. And I think when we look at our lives, we have to be really cognizant of the fact that we are constantly evolving or devolving. What do they say? Get busy living or end up dying? And to me, I'm going to live to my last breath. I'm not going to get closer to death. I'm going to, in my opinion and what I believe in the God that I know, I want to live everlasting. I want to have eternal life. And I can only get that by living a good life here. And then hoping that God says, well done, good and faithful servant. And I haven't always been a good servant. And I haven't always been good to myself, good to somebody else. I can learn so much from just looking at my own life. And remove the rot was one of the easiest things that I ever came up with titles and ideas and themes for Lead, because the acronym is Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver. When you're removing the rot, you have to learn what that is in your life. What are the things working against you? What are the vices you have? What are the bad habits that you have? Where is the negative energy coming from? Because we say we can surround ourselves with drama, but we won't be dramatic. And that's just not logical. The energy that is around you, if you're around it long enough, it does affect you. I'm a positive person. There's some negative people in my family. If I'm around them long enough, it's like soot. It gets on your clothes, you go home with it, and you got to wash everything. You have to cleanse yourself of it. Cleanse yourself of the energy, cleanse yourself of the drama. So you have to learn where the bad energy is coming from. Is it coming from you? Is it coming from someone else? Is it coming from your job? Is it coming from a relationship? Is it coming from a vice? Where is this negative energy coming from? That's first. You have to learn it. What do they say? The first thing to do is to admit that there's a problem. Then you have to evolve. Once you figure out what is the rot in your life, now you have to evolve, right? You have to be willing to take a step, be willing to do something about it. Most people can admit there's a problem. I don't know if I've ever met someone that hasn't complained about something before, but not everyone has a solution. They just talk about the problem ad nauseum. But there has to be a solution. And I'm a person where if there's an issue, I want to figure it out as soon as possible. Because life is precious to me. I don't want a problem on Tuesday to persist on Thursday, Friday, the next Tuesday, 3 Wednesdays from there, 5 Saturdays from then. I don't want a compounded problem. I want a problem where you learn what it is and then you evolve to take care of it. And sometimes that evolution comes from therapy. Sometimes it comes from talking with someone. Sometimes it comes from meditation, prayer, walking, driving. I'm a person who likes to drive. If I got something on my mind, if something's just, bugging me and I can't see clearly, I take a ride. And that works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people it's music. Some people it's writing in a journal. It could be a lot of different things. It could be swimming in a pool, I think that my conversations in the pool are always seem to develop into these, multi-layered things. I feel like I really, the pool is a safe haven for me. Maybe it is for you, or maybe it's something else. So we evolve to figure out what the problem is and then work to find a solution. We ad-lib when that solution may not work. Or maybe it works temporarily. Or maybe it works some of the way, but not all of the way. So we have to ad-lib. Because not everything is going to go smoothly. Life is never going to be 100% of what we want it to be all the time. Sometimes things are going to work out even better than you could have planned. Sometimes a problem could bleed into another one, or two totally disconnected things could compound on each other and cause more frustration, more angst, right? Maybe you are going to an amusement park and you get there and the person that you're with doesn't want to ride any of the rides, right? So that's an angst. Then it gets really, really hot. Then maybe you get nauseous. So now there's 3 angsts, and they're not all necessarily connected, but they're compounding on each other. So we have to ad-lib. I can't tell you how many times I've planned something out and had to ad-lib to it, big or small. And then we have to deliver. And the deliver part of it is extremely important. We learn what's going on. We evolve to find a solution. We ad-lib when things don't work completely how we had planned. And then we have to deliver. We have to stay the course. So many people get so close. And they always say that your dreams and your hopes and your desires are on the other side of fear. So many of us are afraid. Afraid to fall in love. Afraid to go after our job that we really want. Afraid to move. A lot of people are afraid to move, right? Because we like our space. I'm not a person that's attached to material things. Like, I love my home. I love my neighborhood. I love my hometown. But I will never tell you that I wouldn't move somewhere else, that I couldn't see myself in a different state, in a different country, because I never thought I was going to come back to Syracuse when I was living in Florida. Not because I don't love my hometown. It just wasn't part of my plan. So I don't have that, I can't move, I can't this, I can't that. I have this faith in God that is so strong and so deep that if he told me, I need you to grab all your stuff or half of your stuff or just a book bag and follow me here, I would go. Because when he asked me to leave Florida, it was a great decision. When he asked me to go to Florida, it was a great decision. You say, how did God ask you? I pray about a lot of things. I prayed about what college to go to. I had both folders in front of me. I sat down in my family room of the house I grew up in. I was by myself, and I prayed to God. And I saw visions, and then I just put my hand down, and my hand was on Marywood University. I went to Marywood, and would you believe that the visions that I saw that did not clearly show me the school I was at, I ended up living those visions, and that proved to me that I had made the right decision. I had seen a person, like the back of somebody's head, and I was talking to them, standing behind them, and they were stapling garbage bags to the walls because they were setting up for Halloween. Well, in this vision, I had no idea who the person was, why I was in this hallway, and what they were doing. Then fast forward a few months, I'm at college. My buddy Steve Stahl, who lives 2 doors down, was stapling garbage bags to the wall. That was the vision. I had a vision of going to this building, and I kept trying to look around it to see the banner, and I couldn't see the banner. So I'm on campus at Marywood after I decided to go there, and I thought, why don't I just walk around this building to see if it's actually what I think it is? And I walked around, and I looked at the banner, and the banner was Marywood. God would not let me see it. He led me to a certain place in the vision, but he wouldn't make the decision for me. And I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated with God. They think prayer is, tell me what to do. And God's not going to tell you what to do. He's going to guide you. He's going to give you nuggets, pieces, pebbles to help you find your way. He will give you the breadcrumbs to get back to the house. But he's not going to tell you where the house is. He's just going to guide you. And sometimes the breadcrumbs might wash away, and the path isn't clear anymore. And then you have to trust your instincts. Life is not easy, and people make it more difficult, depending on who you deal with. People are complicated. Life is a beautiful thing. And when you take the time to step back and take a deep breath, it's hard not to appreciate what you have. We all got stuff. We all have family or friend stuff or relationship stuff or job stuff or house stuff. Sometimes our annoyance is as simple as a mosquito outside when we're trying to enjoy a fire. Sometimes it's, how do I pay the bills this month? Sometimes it's, how do I get my car fixed? Sometimes it's, how do I move on? How do I move forward? How do I deal with the fact that somebody passed away that I love so dearly and I can't hear their voice right now? We all have stuff. But it's what we choose to do, what we choose to focus on. None of this is easy. I don't come to you today an expert on anything. I come to you today with knowledge, wisdom, experience, and I would like to think intelligence to forge forward. I want to be a person that somebody would want to call when they have an issue. I want to be a person that somebody wants to lean on when times are tough. Because if you're the phone call that somebody makes, if you're the safe space that they run to, that means that in this world, with everything you've been through, you've still remained soft, open, ready for the good stuff. And you can't truly appreciate the good stuff, the flowers, the fruit, unless you're willing to trim the tree of your life and remove the rot. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We will be back inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios with the Top Dog of the Week announcement. Big time shout out once again to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Jimmer Sikowski. Go and watch the Light Between Us series that is available to you all the time by going on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our playlist, The Light Between Us. Because a positive message is never at a bad time. We can always use a good message, right? We'll be back right after this.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicoli's.com. That's myaviccollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily?
Hello, this is Dylan Husted, the owner of the Baked Potato Express. We do mostly big festivals or big corporate like private events. Typically just big festivals such as like Taste of Syracuse, Food Truck Battle, Battle of the Wings. I do the State Fair. They're ordering from a fresh food truck that is making real food and happy to make it and wants them to enjoy every bite. We season every potato before they go in the oven, and then they bake for an hour, and when they come out, we season them again after we cut them. We use real butter, real cheese, real ingredients, so it's all really good food and people love it. We have a lot of returning customers and regulars that we see very often. The customers really make a big impact, and this is a big food truck community. The events here are super busy. It's like in my blood. I like building things and creating stuff that people love, and me and my friends are the ones that run the truck, so it's kind of, we keep it's a tight circle in there, and we have like a family sort of oriented truck, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a good time doing it, and people love our food, so it ends up making it well for everybody. You can contact the Baked Potato Express at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com or the Baked Potato Express on Instagram or TikTok. We are very happy to be partnered up with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as the exclusive sponsor of the Annoying Moment of the Week. And be sure to try DT's baked potato creation at all of our food trucks. The Baked Potato Express. Let's get baked.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, who you just heard about. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Open for sales and service Monday through Saturday and all the time online at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. We are just a few minutes away from making national history as Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora has a multimedia marketing partnership with an entire Division I NCAA conference, that being the Big West. And our segment, which will be weekly from here forward, every Friday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:15 a.m. Pacific Time, known as Journey Out West, where we will do exactly that, to speak with student athletes, coaches, administration, alumni from inside of the Big West Conference. And inside the Big West, the opportunity to speak with the schools that include their three new schools, including today with Sacramento State, Cal Baptist, as well as Utah Valley, joining the family that has Cal Poly, Cal State Bakersfield, Cal State Fullerton, CSUN, Long Beach State, UC Irvine, UC Riverside, UC San Diego, and UC Santa Barbara. Always a pleasure to bring you something innovative, unique, creative, original, and different here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I am honored and privileged to make history with you this morning, like I said, in just a few moments. But before that, we're going to go into the top dog of the week. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. You can get in touch with K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare for daily care for your dog of any size, any breed, by calling 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. You can also go online to K-9 Kamp.com. That's K-9 Kamp.com. Top dog of the week for this week. I got to give it up to the parents. The parents that spend their summer driving, flying, and boating, whatever they need to do, their kids around to all of these summer league events. I have a godson who plays soccer year-round, and he plays indoor, he plays outdoor, and shout out to Noah. Also shout out to what Noah is doing. He's making bracelets, and I'm so proud of my godson. I want to make a note of this, is that my godson Noah is doing this beautiful thing, and he actually sent me a message, and I want to share that message here this morning because it should be something that we share. This world is always in need of good things. This is the message I got from my godson. He says, "Hey, Uncle Dan, I was wondering if you could mention me on your podcast. I'm making almost 400 bracelets and delivering them to Golisano's Children's Hospital in Syracuse." And so he wanted to share that he was doing this. He said, "I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart." And here is the materials that he's using to make the bracelets. I don't know if you could see them as well here with our digital background. But he is using these different colors and whatnot to make the bracelets for Golisano's Children's Hospital. Golisano's Children's Hospital treats kids from our community and outside our community who are dealing with some of the roughest and toughest things. It makes me emotional because not only do I think that no one should have to go through disease and pain, but when you see it in someone who's just begun their life, it's hard to take in. And so the fact that my godson is making bracelets for Golisano's Children's Hospital and giving to these wonderful children that are fighting fights that they shouldn't have to, and maybe just helping them to look at their wrist and see the bracelet and giving them a little bit of strength on a rainy day. I appreciate my godson, and I appreciate Golisano's Children's Hospital and all that you are doing. And in the top dog of the week, speaking of my godson, he travels a lot. And the last time I checked, he doesn't drive. He's a young one. And so mom and dad got to take him everywhere. Grandma and grandpa, the other grandma and grandpa, they're bringing him around. And all hours of the day, on the weekends. And that's, when summer comes around and you're enjoying your summer and you're going on vacation and you're going to the beach and you're going to your favorite spots and your amusement parks, and maybe you're going around the country and maybe you're taking a long road trip. You don't always think about the parents and the grandparents and the aunts and the uncles and the neighbors that are driving kids all over God's green earth during these moments, because there's tournaments and there's opportunities and there's so many sacrifices that parents as well as grandparents and the community make for children. There's people that'll tell you, there was someone that came on my show recently in our Bearcat break room in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University, and said, if not for my parents, I'm not going into the Binghamton Hall of Fame right now. Because if they didn't take the time to drive me out to all these games, I wouldn't have been able to be in them. So today, I want to commend all the parents and the grandparents and the step-parents and the community people in general for being willing to take a time that's usually a time of rest, which is the summer, when school is out of session. And sometimes doing even more work, sometimes traveling even more, going out to all these games and all of these events and supporting your kids. Or kids that may not even biologically be yours, but kids that you've come to love that are part of your family. It's a beautiful thing, and you're unsung heroes. And so today, we sing about you here on Wake Up Call, because it ain't easy. And we all look forward to our summers. We look forward to the nice weather. We look forward to the hope of a vacation, a real vacation, where even mom and dad and stepmom and dad and grandma and grandpa, everybody gets to relax. We look forward to those moments where we can just sit, listen to the birds chirping, feel the breeze, feel the sun, and enjoy the moment. So I pray that everyone gets that, that's watching and listening, and your loved ones that may not be watching and listening, but you can tell them this message today. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that makes it possible for kids to have a bright future. Because it's expensive, it's time-consuming, and it goes unnoticed a lot. But this morning on Wake Up Call, I see you. I feel you. I hear you. And we honor you. Because without you, your kids would never have the opportunities that you probably didn't even have. I know I didn't. My parents drove me around to a lot of places, but there wasn't all these summer like they are now. And I'm sure my parents would have driven me out if there were all of these things going on. I didn't even have this stuff. But the fact that you can play a sport that you love all year round now, despite the weather, is a beautiful thing. And knowing that it's all year round, give your parents, your grandparents, your step-parents, your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors, whoever's helping you out, give them a hug today. Just give them a hug today. Don't let their sacrifice for you go unnoticed. That's love. That's love. And we celebrate love today, sacrifice, and just knowing that you're seen. We'll take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. When we come back, history in the making, Journey Out West begins right after this, inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. GG Cards and Breaks open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5. You do not want to miss a moment at GG Cards and Breaks. It's more than sports cards. It's memories. It's memories with your loved ones. It's a great time to go out with friends. My grandmothers used to bring me to get sports cards. My mom to this day will still, buy me a pack of sports cards and just bring them over to me out of the goodness and kindness of her heart. So all I can tell you is a little goes a long way. And when it comes to something like sports cards or trading cards, when it comes to Magic the Gathering, Disney Lorcana, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, One Piece, and more, there's just something fun about it. There's something cool about this world that we get to live in. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the moments, the memories. I still think about those times, and I'm so happy that I got to have those moments with my grandma, with both of my grandmas, and with my mom, and that I continue to have those moments with my mom. It's truly special. It's rewarding. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm thankful for it. GG Cards and Breaks, they give us that. They give you those moments, those special opportunities with your family. And you get closer to the teams you love, players you love, sports you love. There's always that mystery when you open up a pack or a box and you never know what you're going to get. There's something just really cool about it. And GG Cards and Breaks, on top of all of the things that I speak about that are really special, they do it in a way that makes you feel like you matter the day you walk through the door. The moment that you're there. They care about everybody that walks into the room, and they work so tirelessly behind the scenes. All hours of the day. I tell you that they're open 10 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday. And on Sundays, 10 to 5. But the reality is, Josh and Anthony are working all the time. And I commend them. I commend them for everything they do. For the memories they help us to have. And for being a place that I never knew if I was going to have in my community again. I had a place when I was growing up as a kid called George's. It was by North Salina Street. And it was amazing. When they closed, I felt like I had lost something. GG Cards and Breaks gave it back to me and did it in such a way that I feel even closer and even more connected to this beautiful community. It may start with a piece of cardboard, but it grows into a friendship and a greater community of people that care. And that's what it's all about. Thanks, GG's, for all you do on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, we're here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with an opportunity, as I stated before, to make history. And I'm excited to bring this to you as we await having Mark Orr here, the Director of Athletics of Sacramento State. I want to thank the Big West for all the work that they have done in making this possible. This was an idea. It was something that I had on my mind, something I wanted to do. But somebody's got to pick up what you're putting down. And the Big West are pioneers in picking up what I was putting down with this conference-wide partnership that has never been seen quite like this from any company anywhere in the country. Making history with the Big West is a very beautiful and meaningful thing to me. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for the trust. And that has led me to this moment where I can share with you the Big West, who they are, their message, and the fact that they truly stand on their statement, their mantra, only the bold. Because only the bold would do something that nobody else is doing in the country right now. Only the bold would step out and challenge themselves in a way where they haven't been challenged. Only the bold would dare to be unique and step into a place that has never existed before. It's easy to be the 2nd, 10th, 100th, or 1,000th person to do something. It's hard to be the first. In the Big West and Wake Up Call, we get to be first. And I'm grateful for that. So we will take a final step aside here and get ready for Journey Out West here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Chris Rauda.
And Colleen Rakowski from Gray's Craze of Clay.
It's a fun, innovative, upscale catering solution. We've turned eating into a whole new experience. Each of our boards is packed with delicious mix of artisan cheeses. We use premium, cured meats, fresh fruits, nuts, and all of the sweet touches that really bring out the best in every perfect bite.
We offer something as small as a grab and go that feeds 1, maybe 2 people, to our large board that can serve anywhere up to 25, 28 people. So we have the ability to really meet and hopefully exceed all of our customers' expectations when it comes to the different varieties of things that we have.
Charcuterie boards or boxes are healthy, fresh, delicious. They're made to order. We're baking the breads here daily. We're baking the cookies here daily. All of our dips are homemade, made in-house. All of our spreads are all made in-house.
When you open that board or box that we have delivered or you have picked up, we want you to know that it was made with care and designed to completely elevate your event, celebration, or meeting.
We've catered parties and events for up to 300 people. So if you're walking in to grab something for lunch or something for date night or movie night, that's great too. Our events go from you eating in the car on the way home to a catering event in a rehearsal dinner or cocktail hour or party.
When we do, again, know what the event is specifically for a wedding, we like to schedule tastings so the bride and groom can come in and see what we have to offer, and we can then, as we talk, to try to understand what they're looking for, what the venue's like. We do like to have that one-on-one interaction when it comes to catering bigger events.
Our address is 4599 State Route 31, Suite 5, in Clay, New York. We're on the corner of Route 31 and Henry Clay at Clay Marketplace.
You can order on the phone by calling area code 315-409-4171 or online at grayscraze.com/clay-ny. Come visit us at Gray's Craze of Clay, New York,
where we want you to celebrate everything.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food. In our pizza pub, that was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food, to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch, but we're going to have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you can rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on whack pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside these Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. So happy to be here with you where sports meets that thing called life. And thankful to be here with you up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. On YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, as well as on WakeUpCallDT.mixlr.com. So thank you for being here. For everyone that is here on the broadcast and being a part of the show, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So thank you for being here with us and hanging out on Wake Up Call. So very thankful to have you here where sports meets life. So jumping into another piece here as things are going on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We thank you for spending some time with us here. And as we take a look at what's going on Yankees-wise, let's jump into the Yankees here as I've been talking about Lumbar and the work that he's done up to this point. We take a look at one of the best debuts that, not just in Yankees history, it's one of the best debuts I've ever seen. And to see what's been happening with Lumbar coming up to the Yankees here, and as I mentioned yesterday, in just a couple games that he's played in 2 games on the 4th and the 5th of August. He's batting .333, already has a home run, and has made some incredible defensive plays, including a diving catch. So much respect to Lumbar of the New York Yankees. He's got to be like another top dog of the week, I think, easily for me as well, to honor him and everything that he's been doing here. And the Red Sox have upped their winning streak to 8 in a row right now as they chase the Yankees. So the Yankees need Lumbar and the crew to continue to play well in the absence of Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge, as the Red Sox are nipping at their heels currently. So that's something that we have to look to right now and fully understand, is that the race, which currently also has the Tampa Bay Rays in first place of the AL East, is very much on. And the only team out of it, the Orioles, right now. The Royals are also out of it in the AL Central. So that's something else that's going on and something to look to. So as we're here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, taking a look at a bunch of different pieces and elements of the sports world that's going on currently. As I said, with the New York Yankees, the Red Sox, the streak that is happening for the Yankees right now has been fantastic. And, you know, the what they've been able to do in the games that they've been able to put together has been huge. But can they continue that? And can they continue it at a time where the Boston Red Sox are only getting better? And they added Adley Rutschman, keep in mind, from the Baltimore Orioles, who are willing to let go of Rutschman as they are in last place of the AL East. So that is something to look to as we take a look at the baseball world. We did a bonus show with Papa Joe yesterday, and that bonus show that we did with him is available on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /Wake Up Call DT. And so make sure that you head out to our channels, take a listen, and be a part of that bonus broadcast that I got to do with Papa Joe. So definitely check that out today, as it aired yesterday mid-afternoon. And as we continue the conversation here on Wake Up Call, we take a look at some other pieces that are going on in the world of athletics around the country and some of the things that are happening here that I want to make note of. One of the things is a prediction that I made. And that prediction that I made had to do with Carson Beck. Now, Carson Beck is a rookie quarterback. I covered him, interviewed him when he was playing with the Miami Hurricanes. And when he was playing for the Miami Hurricanes this past season, he was coming off of an injury and had already had success when he was at Georgia, already knew what it was like to be part of a championship team. And now seeing what he's been able to do through being on Georgia, having success at Georgia, being in the SEC, then going through an injury to his throwing arm, having surgery, rehabbing, and getting on the field for another team in another conference and ending up going to the national championship game was massive. Now he was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, and in his draft by the Arizona Cardinals, I fully anticipate and believe that we will see him, Carson Beck, as a starter at some point in the NFL this season. And he just had a great night in the first NFL preseason game where he went 15 of 19. With that being said, it's time to make history here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You know that the Big West is in partnership with Wake Up Call and with the greater Dan Tortora broadcast media family. It's called Journey Out West. We'll be talking with all of the full members of the Big West Conference. And today we get to start things off with one of the newest members as of July 1st, 2026, and that is Sacramento State, coming up to you right after you hear from the Big West.
The Big West, only the bold.
And our episode 1 here, Stingers Up in the Big West, as we will be bringing in here in just a moment, and very excited to do so. It is my honor and my privilege to have the Director of Athletics of Sacramento State and your Hornets joining the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Picture in picture with me, Mark Orr, here with us for Sacramento State. I love Sacramento's logo. I now get to tell Mark that. So we are journeying out west, and in our partnership with the Big West, which officially started on August 1st of 2026, we made history across the country to do something like this in a multimedia marketing partnership that has never been seen with any of the conferences at any level. And here we are with the Big West making history with Sacramento State and Mark Orr being our first interview in the Journey Out West. Mark, welcome to the family and welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. We're excited. Certainly excited to be part of Wake Up Call here. Sacramento State is back with the Big West. We were in a conference with some of our sports, so it's nice to have all of our programs part of the Big West Conference.
And Mark, there's a lot of places that I want to go to today. And one of the things that I'd love to get to is first and foremost, your journey, how you ended up getting to where you are today, to be sitting in the seat that you're sitting at as the director of athletics for Sacramento State. Bring me through the timeline of the things that have happened, the dominoes that fell to get you to where you are today.
Yeah, sure. I grew up playing sports. My father, Greg Orr, was a professional baseball scout, 38 years with the New York Yankees. So some of you are Yankee fans or not Yankee fans, but my dad was a baseball scout for the New York Yankees. I grew up playing football and basketball and baseball, ran track, and this was in the 1980s, and kids played sports outside all the time. So my parents, I did that. I was fortunate enough to earn a football scholarship to Cal Berkeley. I played 4 years at Cal from 1994 to 1998. My claim to fame, I was in the same recruiting class as Tony Gonzalez, and Tony's a good friend of mine. Never thought he'd be a Hall of Famer, and I'd be an athletic director, but played at Cal, played for 3 head coaches, Keith Gilbertson, 1 year for Steve Mariucci, and 1 year for Tom Homo. Unfortunately, I ruptured the patellar tendon and tore the ACL on my left knee my senior season. It did not allow for me to go on and play professional football. During my senior year, while I was at post-surgery, I got an internship in the athletic program, and I interned in the compliance office with now the Mountain West commissioner, but Gloria Navarez was our compliance director at the time. So I interned with Gloria. I liked behind the scenes in athletic administration, decided to go to graduate school at Berkeley, did that while working in the compliance office at Cal. And then I went over to St. Mary's College. St. Mary's College is 15 minutes or so from Berkeley. I started at 24 years old as an assistant athletic director. This was in 2000. And worked my way at St. Mary's in 2005. I became the youngest at the time Division I athletic director. I was 29 years old and became an athletic director at St. Mary's College. We built a great program at St. Mary's, went to a Sweet 16, had Patty Mills, Matthew Dellavedova, Randy Bennett. I was there when we hired Randy. Did a tremendous job with basketball. So all the programs at St. Mary's continued to grow. The West Coast Conference was a terrific conference for us to be in. Yeah. And then in 2017, I had the opportunity to come back home to my hometown, Sacramento State. Again, my parents still live here. My brother, my sister work in the area. This university is near and dear to my heart because, again, this is home. And the goal was to build Sacramento State's athletic program in something this community can be proud of and build a national brand, particularly in the sports like basketball and baseball and volleyball. And so I came over to Sacramento State in 2000 and have continued to build the program to where it is today. So it's my journey started playing in the ball fields here locally in Sacramento. And it's ironic that I'm back leading the college Division I program here in the same city.
Well, and I appreciate you telling the story and sharing your road with us. You said 29 years old to be an athletic director. What did you pull from? Knowledge, wisdom? When you looked at your toolbox, what did you have in the toolbox at 29 from your experience that you felt like prepared you to be such a young athletic director?
Yeah, I can tell you at the time I wasn't too far removed from being a student athlete myself, and I think that helped. I think it helped that I wasn't that far removed. I also was, and this has been instilled with me through sports, through coaches, through my parents. I'm a competitor at heart. So I'm a worker. I'm a grinder. At that age, and also what I had learned in my athletic experiences at the time was we put the time in, you put the effort, you put the work, you're a good teammate, you work well with folks. So all those qualities we tell our student athletes really prepared me at a young age to lead an athletic program. So I always say I was fortunate, again, to have great coaches, and sports was a big part of me being able to lead a program, certainly at 29 years old.
And for you, Mark, when you look at the road that you had, and like you said, not being that far removed as a student athlete, the connection that you can have. What have you done to continue to build that? Because at 29 years old, right, you become an athletic director and you're not that far removed, but as time goes on, you get older, the athletes stay young. What have you done to stay connected to the student athlete?
Well, it's funny because I'm 50 years old now, so I'm pretty far removed from the student athletes. I think you always got to learn, just like in sports. Obviously, college athletics is very different now than it was in 2005 when I first became an athletic director. So you have to adapt, you have to learn, listen to your student athletes. It's still about people and relationships. So you hire the right coaching staff. You develop the right relationships with your faculty, your president, your administration, your donors, your fans, your students, and you continue to adapt. And don't think you know it all. I don't know it all. Every day, I can learn something different. So I think if you come in with the attitude that you're willing to learn and adapt and really put the time into your craft, I've probably spent the last year just listening to our student athletes. In the crazy world of what's happening in the landscape of college athletics right now, one of the things I think we're missing is listening to our students. What do they want in their experience, and how to ensure they're having a positive experience? And me being a 50-year-old athletic director, it's not my experience. It's our student athletes out there training right now for soccer. It's their experience, and we need to listen to them.
Yeah, and I think it's incredibly important to have the conversations, right? They say to always go to the horse's mouth, so to speak, to hear what they want and what matters to them. There's a lot of people that make decisions in ivory towers, and it never really ends up well for everybody. So in that essence of wanting to hear from the student athlete, what have you done? Like, how do you put that together? Are you having workshops, or are you having, a bunch of student athletes kind of come to an auditorium? Are you doing one-on-ones? Are you visiting with certain teams during practice? How are you having these conversations?
Yeah, I think it starts with, and all Big West schools have this, and we actually have a Big West conference. We work closely with our student athlete advisory committee here at Sacramento State, and our student athlete advisory committee is made up of representatives from each of our teams. We have 500 plus student athletes, so it's hard to get 500 student athletes together, but we utilize our student athlete advisory committee. They're the leaders of each of our programs. We meet regularly. I meet with the chairs of the student athlete advisory committee regularly, and then they have their meetings. So it starts with the leadership of your student athletes and developing a relationship there. And then I'm not a sit in the office kind of guy. I go out to practices. I was just out at soccer practice yesterday and make sure I'm visible to our student athletes at every a game. Also just on campus, popping in at study halls, the training rooms, the equipment rooms, really doing a good job trying to connect with our student athletes. I ask all of our assistant and associate athletic directors to do the same, to ensure we're visible, we're resourced, we're approachable to our student athletes. And I think that's important.
What have you learned from some of these conversations? Maybe the biggest takeaways you've had in today's college climate?
Yeah, I think I've learned that at least the student athletes I've spoken to, they do value the education. They do value the experience of being on campus. They do not want to be employees or treated like professional athletes. I know with NIL and revenue share and the business of college athletics, it's changing. But the core of the student athletes, at least here at Sacramento State, enjoy the collegiate experience. They enjoy going to class. They enjoy the educational experience. They enjoy their non-student athlete friends and relationships they make, their faculty relationships they make. They enjoy competing at the Big West Conference and against rival schools like Cal Poly or Bakersfield or Northridge or all the competition that takes place. So they enjoy their teammates and their coaches and the relationships they're going to build here. So I think we sometimes get into it's about rev share, money, and transfer portals and all that. At the same time, if you really listen, at least on our campus, if you listen to our student athletes, it does go back to the core of why they're competing in college sports. And it is to get an education, to graduate, to develop those relationships, to compete at the high level. And there's value to that sometimes I think it's lost in a national discussion of what we're doing with college athletics.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be about the student athlete experience, and it's become about a lot of other things. I think it's important to get back to that experience, and you only get back to that experience by asking them about that exact thing. Journey Out West is what we're doing here in an all new segment with its inaugural episode today on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as we bring the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest, and the world together here in this partnership with the Big West and Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're here with Sacramento State Director of Athletics, Mark Orr, speaking on his journey, the Hornets joining the Big West, and more. Mark, I got to say this in the midst of all of this, and we're live, so feel free to turn me down. But I have from afar absolutely loved the logo of Sacramento State. And I tell people all the time when I connect with athletic directors, coaches, players, alumni, whoever it may be, I say, listen, I like to rock and support gear of people I support. So I'm going to ask you this, Mark. Can we do a jersey swap? If I send you something Wake Up Call, can we get something from Sacramento State?
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll get you a few pieces of gear to wear, and you just got to tell me your size and what you want, and we'll make it happen. So yes, we certainly will make sure you're outfitted in Hornet gear.
I got to tell you, the logo is. I'm big on logos. We redesigned mine, the sun rising out of the coffee cup during COVID. I'm the type of person that takes something negative, turns it into a positive. I'm an advantageous person. So logos are important to me. I want to walk through an airport, have somebody look at my hat and go, what is that? Or I like that, or be able to recognize it and ask me where I got it. So bring me into, you've been with Sacramento for such a long time. You spent many, many years, which we'll get into in a moment, the longevity of it. But bring me into this logo and what you want it to represent, what you want us to see, because it's the first thing that people see when it comes to Sacramento State.
Yeah, I must say I enjoy our logo. I think it looks great. It was released before I became an athletic director, so I can't take credit for it. But I will say it's unique. It first it has the S that signifies Sacramento. At the corner, at the bottom of the S, you see a pointed stinger, which is being a Hornet. Stingers are obviously part of the Hornets, and our slogan here is "Stingers Up." So you see the stinger. Next to the S, on the other sides of the S, are wings, are two wings. Again, showing the Hornet, and the Hornet wings are part of the S. And then in the middle, you'll see kind of a squiggly line, and that signifies the American and Sacramento rivers that run right through campus. So it's a comprehensive logo. Obviously, I think it looks good on uniforms and helmets and jerseys and websites and all that. But it does have a story to share behind it between the Hornet, the Sacramento and American rivers, and obviously the Stingers Up.
So the question is, what does it mean to have Stingers Up? If that's the rally cry, what should we know from that?
Yeah, I think first, the Stingers Up, you have a hand signal. It's like this. So you use your pinky finger and you put Stingers Up. So that Stingers Up is a source of pride for Sacramento State, for our students, for our alumni. Here in Sacramento, we have 32,000, just over 32,000 students that are enrolled here, and over 250,000 alumni that live in the region. So it is a rallying cry to bring everybody together, and it's pretty cool when I'm in a grocery store and I'm wearing a Sacramento State T-shirt, and a stranger will say, "Oh, Sacramento State, Stingers Up." So it's something that's caught on here in our community, in our city, and it's for alumni that are across the country and fans of Sacramento State across the country. It is a source of pride.
There's so many California-based teams in the Big West. There's so many institutions when it comes to colleges and universities in the state of California in general. How does Sacramento State stand out in your opinion?
Yeah, I think, well, first, we're in the capital. We're in the capital of California, which is the fourth largest economy in the world. So we're the capital city in a state that's the fourth largest economy in the world. So I always say yes. There's the several California state universities, several University of California university. There's one capital city of the state of California, that's Sacramento. So I think we stand out certainly because of that. And then we're also the northernmost California city in the Big West. So most of the Big West schools are in Southern California. It's beautiful in Southern California. Lots of schools down there. We have a lot of our student athletes from that area. But in Northern California, we are the Big West member institution that's in Northern California. There's a lot of Big West alumni, fans that are here in Northern California that are excited about welcoming Long Beach State and Cal State Fullerton and UC Irvine up to Northern California to play here in Sacramento. So I think those two things really stand out. And then there's obviously a lot of similarities with us in several of our Big West member institutions in terms of our student body and academic curriculum and CSU system or UC system, size of the universities. It's going to lead to some terrific rivalries that we can continue or create new ones.
Well, and that's the question is, when you look at the Big West, who is the rival or the rivals that you are most excited to now as a full member join on all the fields and courts and whatnot of life?
Yeah, I think we want all of them to be a rival. We'll take them all on. Obviously, sometimes rivalries develop, to be honest with you, with good teams and hotly contested games and those kind of things. So sometimes rivalries become organic and natural. Obviously, we have common rivalries with Cal Poly. We've played them several years over in several sports, and they're pretty close to us in terms of being able to drive back and forth, and similar to Bakersfield. But all the CSUs and UCs and even Utah Valley, who's joining in, we were in the WAC with Utah Valley for baseball and developed a good baseball rivalry with Utah Valley. So we look forward to being able to expand that to other sports.
And we look at your sports on the men's side: baseball, basketball, cross country, golf, soccer, tennis, track and field. On the women's side, basketball, beach volleyball, cross country, golf, gymnastics, rowing, soccer, softball, tennis, track and field, and volleyball, all members of the Big West. And then obviously football, you're outside of the Big West. But becoming a full member of the Big West meant what to you? Why was it important to not be an affiliate anymore, but to join completely?
Well, I think it makes sense for several reasons. One, for our student athletes. Again, I go back to our student athlete experience. We wanted to compete at the highest level of college athletics in all of our programs. And the Big West Conference is a nationally recognized conference, produced championship and NCAA postseason berths in several sports, and one of the best. And we want to be affiliated competitively with one of the best conferences in the country. And we always felt the Big West Conference was that. Two, we mentioned it, rivalries and regional rivalries in California. These are institutions we have been competing against in non-conference play for many, many years. We recruit against them. Our student athletes know a lot of the other student athletes at those schools. Our alumni have most of those institutions have large alumni bases here in Sacramento. We do it in those locations. So it made sense that way. And then institutional alignment. Our universities are aligned. The mission of our universities, how we serve our student body, our alumni. So university alignment was also fit. So it's a perfect fit for Sacramento State to join the Big West. It's going to be some great competitions over the many years to come, and we can't wait to get started.
And you spoke about being with Sacramento State for such a long time. We don't always see that with athletic directors, with coaches. Why the longevity at Sacramento State? I know you talked about there's something about playing on a baseball field and coming home. What else about this school has kept you here? Even if another school called or another opportunity arose, why continue to keep the stingers up and stay with Sacramento State?
Well, outside of it being my hometown and family and all those type of things, the trajectory of Sacramento State is through the roof right now, and what's happening on our campus, the leadership we have with Dr. Luke Wood, who's our president, our cabinet, what's happening in terms of enrollment, in terms of alumni giving, in terms of national branding. It's just an exciting time to be part of our of transformational time here at Sacramento State. So from that end, it's just such a great time and a place to work. The other part is on a competitive side, on an NCAA Division One side. I think we've been a sleeping giant for many years, and we're starting to wake up. Is how I like to say it. It's we're starting to have success in several of our programs. We hired Mike Bibby in men's basketball. We have Shaquille O'Neal as our general manager. We have we have our volleyball program's been in multiple NCAA tournaments. Our baseball program's been successful for so many years. Men's golf and women's tennis went to the NCAAs this past year. So you're starting to see all these programs starting to rise to the occasion and have success. And it's just an exciting time to be part of the journey here.
And you spoke about your men's basketball staff, Mike Bibby. I grew up watching Mike play for the Kings and,
Yeah.
seeing all the work that he did, his incredible movement with the basketball. I grew up playing. I got recruited D3. I am a guard. I'm 5'8". So I respect the Mike Bibbies of the world, but Bibby did it differently. He was just there's watching a really good guard, and then there's watching the ones that you don't forget. And so when I hear Mike Bibby, I go back to the jersey, go back to his number, go back to some of the moves and whatnot. So bring me into the move that brought in Mike Bibby. How did you do it? Well, you put the moves on him, gave the little crossover. How'd you get him here?
Well, I can tell you, Mike wanted to be here. So Mike, it wasn't very difficult for me to get Mike to be interested in Sacramento State. He's always wanted to lead a college program. He had a great experience here in Sacramento. In many years, he played for the Kings. So it wasn't a difficult sell for me to sell him on Sacramento State or the city of Sacramento. I think what the timing was great for us. We were coming off of a tough season. We had an interim head coach at the time. I felt our program needed somebody like Mike that's played at the highest level, that was rooted in Sacramento from his time playing with the Kings, that can connect with this age of student athlete and this landscape of what's happening on a national level, particularly in college basketball, and that has one of the greatest basketball minds in the world. If you're an NBA point guard at the level that he was at,
Yeah.
and the way Mike played, he was such a cerebral player. He played for Lute Olson. He played for Kelvin Sampson. He played for Rick Adelman here in Sacramento. So his knowledge of the game was just it's still I'm amazed how he sees the game of basketball and what he does with it. So we've gotten through 1 year with Mike, and he is recruiting very well, building his program the right way, has roots here in Sacramento, and I couldn't be more fortunate to have him lead it.
And then you mentioned Shaquille O'Neal, and not Shaquille O'Neal, Dr. Shaquille O'Neal, which is crazy to say, but here we are today. Shaquille O'Neal and Shaq, if you're watching this, if you're watching Mark, I do impressions. I have impersonations. I've done like up to 47. I do have a Shaquille O'Neal. I love his back and forth with Charles Barkley. I think it's incredible. But bring me into this. So how involved is Shaq as the general manager of this team? What is his day-to-day? Are you interacting with him? Bring me into Shaq on campus at Sacramento State. And is he stingers up when he's out there doing his thing?
Yeah, Shaq is definitely stingers up. But he has such big fingers, so his fingers up are much larger hands than mine. But yes, Shaq is one of the most successful professional basketball players, and I would even say off the court than he was even on the court. Everything he's done in education, obviously multiple degrees, and he values education. Obviously, what he's done in business, obviously with media, with endorsements, with investments, one of the brightest minds to leave professional basketball or his playing career and continue to have success. So his role for us, first and foremost, is to be a mentor to our student athletes, not just basketball, but certainly our student athletes. And he has been that. He certainly connects to particularly our men's basketball student athletes, helps them with dealing with everything with NIL to revenue share to, one day having a future in professional basketball, to business, to just their student experience. And Shaq has just been tremendous in that way. He certainly works close with Coach Bibby, for evaluating a recruit or a potential opponent. Shaq, obviously, with the level of basketball that he's played at, certainly has basketball expertise that helps us. And then on the fundraising, donor, alumni side, he's been tremendous there. He did a video for admissions office, encouraging non-student athletes, but encouraging admitted students to attend Admitted Student Day on campus. So he's shot videos for different parts of campus. He's made multiple visits out to interact with folks and be here on our campus. So he's just been tremendous. Pretty much anything we've asked him to support us on, he has. And he is just a wonderful person. We're trying to get him to come out here and DJ, do some I don't know if you know, DJ Diesel is really a big thing. So, hopefully in the future we'll get him out here to do a DJ event for some of our students on campus. But he is just a wonderful person. His son Shakir was on our team last year, was a straight A student, graduated, walked across the stage this June. Shaq was at obviously the commencement ceremony. So I couldn't say enough great things about Shaq and what he's done and continues to do for our students, our basketball program. Just a tremendous person, and it's great to have him around.
If you were to rap battle with Shaquille O'Neal, can you hang or no?
No, absolutely not. Shaquille O'Neal, I don't think people realize how successful he was as a musician. He's actually really, really good, and an actor, obviously. I told him I really liked his performance in Blue Chips. I don't know if those of you are listening have watched Blue Chips with Nick Nolte and Anthony Hardaway and Shaq was in there. So that was although everything in Blue Chips now is probably NCAA permissible and legal now. Back then it wasn't, but Blue Chips was one of my favorite Shaq films.
Yeah, I think mine was it Kazam?
Kazam was a good one too.
Yeah, I think that was the one. I'm like, man, if I could have Shaq as a genie, that would be amazing for me.
Oh no, he's great. He's just a tremendous person.
So, Mark, we're going to jump into something called Rapid Fire. It gives you an opportunity as a director of athletics to do something you probably have never done, which is to ask the questions instead of just being asked. So you and I will go back and forth. You'll ask the first, I'll ask the second, and we'll have a few rounds here. We can talk about any topic, doesn't have to be sports, could be anything in the world. But as we are in our inaugural episode of Journey Out West, in our partnership with the Big West Conference and here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, making history with the athletic director of Sacramento State, you get the first question, Mark. What do you got?
Wow. All right, let me think. So I'll start with an easy one since it's been all over the news. What do you think about LeBron James going to the Sixers?
My buddy is one of the analysts and really my key analyst when it comes to basketball is Dave Paziak. He's a longtime coach, loves kids, and is just a tremendous leader, in my opinion, and a great overall encyclopedia of basketball. He is a Sixer fan, and he's a LeBron fan. So
Okay.
I'm sure this is a great moment for him. I mean, okay. So I'm gonna put it to you like this: Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player ever,
Okay. All right.
without
Yeah,
question.
I agree.
Okay, and my response is I have 3 reasons why. One, why would LeBron wear 23 if Michael wasn't the best? 2, why would you make Space Jam 2, which I'm not ever going to watch? And 3, Michael Jordan never got tapped by a pinky and flew across the room like the Matrix. So
That is true.
so that is why Michael Jordan is the great, and he can fly. So Michael Jordan is the greatest ever. There is no conversation in my world about that. So these kids, the young kids need to educate themselves. LeBron is a physical specimen, got probably 0.5% body fat, and obviously he's done a lot of things. They're putting together a super team in Philly, and we'll see what that looks like. I still think Boston's going to have something to say about it. I still think there's other teams that could sneak in. I think a healthy Indiana Pacers team. But, you know, I'm happy for LeBron. It's a nice change of scenery. And I don't know if Shaq would agree with me, but I don't think LeBron is on my Mount Rushmore of greatest Lakers of all time. Kobe, Magic,
Yeah.
Kareem, and it's like a toss-up after that of like Worthy and so on and so forth. I mean, there's so many great. I think Eddie Jones is completely overshadowed, which I don't know why. I think Derek Fisher. You know, there's some great guys. Not on my Mount Rushmore, but I think Eddie Jones is like that close. Where do you put him? But the greatest Laker of all time, I think that's between Kobe, Kareem, and Magic, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So my question back to you is, if Bibby was to put you on the squad in your prime, tell me the other 4 guys. If you could pick anybody from NBA or college history, who would you want Sacramento State to put as their starting 5 in your prime? Who are the other 4?
In my prime?
In your prime, you're playing plus 4 other guys. Who are those guys?
And it can be anybody.
Anybody.
Well, first of all, if it were me, it'd have to be 4 guys who can cover up for me. So obviously, Michael Jordan. I would agree with you. Michael Jordan's, to my mind, is the greatest basketball player who ever played. So I definitely have Michael Jordan on my team. I obviously would say LeBron as well. I'm a big Kareem guy. I think Kareem gets overshadowed. So I mean, the big man in the middle. I'm going Kareem.
Okay.
And then you got to get a shooter. You got to have a dead-eye shooter. You can't just have LeBron and Michael and Kareem. So I probably would take who I think is the greatest shooter that I've ever seen in Steph Curry. I put Steph Curry there to just keep all the defenses honest. And then I could just set picks. And, you know, I'm an old football player. I could text picks and set picks, play defense, do that kind of work.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I hope Shaq's not listening.
I know. I thought about Shaq, but I got to go Kareem. He would agree.
What's your next question for me, Mark?
All right. Let me ask you this. We talked a little bit about blue chips.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me your greatest top 5 sports movies.
Oh, goodness me. All right. So, number 1, Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
I think America needs to watch it again. I would say I got to put number 2, The Express, because I'm a Syracuse native, and Ernie Davis, man, the Elmira Express. So I got to put that in there, and I'm good friends with Floyd Little, may he rest in peace. And I know he's watching over us, and I know, you know, he's a part of that lineage of 44 at Syracuse. So I'm going to say The Express, number 2. Number 3, I got to put The Sandlot. Got to put The Sandlot. So, Baby Ruth, and you know you gotta enjoy all those moments. And I love Baby Ruth candy bars thanks to my grandpa. And then number 4, I'm working my way down here. Number 4, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I got to put Angels in the Outfield.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a good one.
Got to put Angels in the Outfield. And then number 5 is this is so hard because I really like. There's a movie that came out recently that I was a big fan of, and I'm sitting here trying to think of the name of it, and I know that it's going to come to me. Oh, I was right. So the movie Champions with Woody Harrelson.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Champions, and at the same time, Moneyball.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
I think
Moneyball's
it would
good,
be a
too.
tie between Champions and Moneyball.
All good movies. I haven't seen Champions. I got to watch Champions.
Yeah, Champions is it's a really
Good
good
movie?
movie. It's people with intellectual limitations
Okay.
playing basketball. Woody Harrelson is a coach. He gets fired, and then they
Oh.
ask him to come coach this team, and it's what it does to his life, what it does for the kids, and it's just a really, to me, it's one of the best movies sports wise that's come out in recent history, I would say.
Well, shoot. Now I got it. Now I got it to do. I got to watch it.
But there's a ton of great movies. I mean, Al Pacino's Speech, for goodness sakes. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there's so many movies I could have gone to. So I'm gonna flip the script on you, and I'm gonna
Okay.
put you. I'm gonna say to you something different. What are the 5 worst movies you've ever seen? Anything,
Ooh.
any genre. The
See,
movies
now,
you would
now
never watch again.
you're gonna get me in trouble with my wife because it's probably a movie I watched with her that she wanted me to watch. So I
Okay.
can give you. I'm not a big rom-com movie guy, so You've Got Mail. I'm not a big fan of You've Got Mail. My wife likes watching that movie. Some of the kids' movies that I had to grow up with my kids watching. Frozen. I don't really like Frozen. I wasn't very fond of Thomas the Train. I don't know if you guys ever heard of
Yeah.
Thomas the Train. They had a movie
Mhm.
that wasn't very good. I don't like long, drawn out movies. So I know this may be controversial, but I'm not a big. What was the Tom Hanks movie where he was on the island? The whole
Castaway.
movie. I'm not a big Castaway guy.
Okay.
As I said, I get out of the office and stuff. If the movie's too long and drawn out, I'm not a big Castaway guy. Let me think. What other movie did not like? Um, I think those are kind of the ones that if they're on, I wouldn't watch. I thought it was, yeah, that's probably where I'd be at. I don't like. I'm an original Marvel fan. Like I like the original Christopher Reeve Superman or the original
Yeah.
Michael Keaton Batman. I don't like the new versions. If there's the new versions and they change the stories, not a big fan of those.
Okay. So nostalgic, and what's your wife's name?
April.
April.
Anything,
April,
any
you have
rom-coms.
my permission this weekend to put on Miss Congeniality 2
Oh yeah.
or In Her Shoes
In
or
Her
any of these
Shoes.
spots. Sex in the City, the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Give it
I'll
back
do
to
it
this
to be a
man.
good husband.
Yeah. All right. So what is your last question for me, Mark?
Oh, let me think. What is your greatest, what do you think is the greatest sporting event in the world? If you had a chance to go, what is the
Greatest one. So I would say, I mean, I've been to the NCAA tournament, the Final Four, the national championship. I've been to the college football playoff. I've covered those, credentialed to those, and those were tremendous. I would say if I had to pick one right now, and I've been to the World Series, brought my dad. I'm an Arizona Diamondback fan, so we came out to see them at Chase Field. So if I had to pick something I haven't been, it would have to be the Super Bowl. It'd have to be going to the Super Bowl, experiencing that. I haven't been a huge fan of a lot of the like recent acts. So I'd like to get something. I like when they mash up and they surprise guest you. So I like when it was like Aerosmith, Britney Spears, NSYNC. It was like different. coming from different places and whatnot. I like when they mix it up and make it something cool. Like bring me some classic rock, country, classic rock, hip hop, like something of that nature. I think we need to have mashups. I think events like that, stages like that are meant for that. So
Yep.
I would say, not only the game, but I think the shows could be a little bit better. I will tell you this though, before last year's Super Bowl, a year before, I wrote on a piece of paper, I said, where's the Super Bowl going to be? They said California, and where in California and all that. I said, okay, California. I thought about it, I had some things kind of hit my brain of like, this is why. I wrote down the name, folded it up, put it in my studio, and it sat there until they announced it. Bad Bunny. I had it 100% correct. So,
Yeah.
so
That's awesome.
I think we need Diesel for one of these to do
We do need Diesel.
I know he's done the
Diesel.
college football playoff because I've been there when Diesel's been there. So
Yeah.
I know he's been a part of that. So yeah, I would say the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're with me. I've never been to a Super Bowl, although the World Cup seems try to get to a World Cup game. They had one in Santa Clara here, but I didn't get a chance to get over there. So and then you have the LA Olympics coming up in 28. Maybe I can try to get down there. But sports, just in general, you mentioned March Madness and college sports, Super Bowls, World Series. What a time to be part of it.
Absolutely. My final question for you, Mark, in this inaugural episode of Journey Out West, you always be the first. And Sacramento State starting things off, kicking things off here for the Big West weekly segment every Friday on Wake Up Call exclusively here at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:15 a.m. Pacific Time from here forward. Mark, my final question for you, if Shaquille O'Neal was going to rap about you and we were going to give him 3 topics that he had to keep within his rap, what 3 topics connected specifically personally to Mark Orr would we say to we're going to write these 3 things on a sheet of paper and Shaq's going to pick out of a hat and he's going to have to incorporate these 3 things about you. What are those things?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think he'll have to incorporate I think he'll have to incorporate. I'm kind of goofy energy, goofiness.
Okay.
So he'll have to incorporate some of that. I think he'll have to incorporate sports, just because I spend most of my time as a fan of pro sports. Obviously, I work in college sports, so he'll have to incorporate sports in there some way. And then I think he'll have to incorporate. I enjoy cars, so I enjoy nice cars and all that. So something along the lines of a car, or a truck, or something like that. So I think he'll have to incorporate an automobile somewhere.
All right, Shaq, get on it. So with that being said, Mark Orr here, the Director of Athletics, Sacramento State, here with the Hornets, telling his story and the greater story of Sacramento State, as they have officially, as of July 1st, joined as a full member to the Big West, one of the 3 newest members of the Big West. And as we journey out west, the first member to speak here on Wake Up Call in this partnership with the Big West overall and all of its members. Mark, it's been a pleasure being here with you, bonding the East Coast, the West Coast, and the whole country. And of course, the only way that I find fitting to end our conversation is to say, Stingers up.
Stingers up, and thank you for having me, and thanks for those who are listening. I really appreciate it.
Look forward to talking with you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
That coming from Mark Orr one more time. Sacramento State starting things off here as we make history on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Nobody doing a partnership quite like this with colleges and universities individually, which we started almost a decade ago, and in less than a decade have worked with NCAA Division I, Division II, Division III institutions, as well as the USCAA and the NJCAA for junior colleges. And we now have an entire conference with this partnership. So state of the art for individual colleges and universities, state of the art for conferences in their entirety, and starting things off with the Big West. And I will have news on a multimedia marketing partnership that we will also be making history on at another level, and that will be coming up within the next 48 hours. Thank you so much for being a part of history with us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I cannot say enough about this opportunity and the privilege that I have to be here. We'll take our final step aside inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios and wrap things up right after this on a historic day for my company, the Big West, and for all of you watching and listening.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen, and we hand bread our chicken, and we hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Go and visit them Monday through Saturday for sales and service, and all the time online. You can check out their inventory of what they have to offer to you at any given time, new and used, by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. We thank you for being here on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.mixlr.com for internet streaming radio. Of course, we're on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And many thanks to our incredible team of partners in Central and Upstate New York: Great Lakes Honda City, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, the Baked Potato Express, Gray's Craze of Clay, New York, Skippy's Ice Cream, K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero, K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Mother's Cupboard, Game Point Sports Complex, Avicoli's, Willow Rock Pizza Pub, and the Willow Rock Brewing Company. We have another to announce, which is why there's a space here today, if you've caught that. And of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. Find the Bearcats every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time, with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni joining the show to tell the stories that they have personally, as well as the greater story of the Binghamton Bearcat family. You can find it all on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, and you can click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Binghamton playlist on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, as well as underneath the Multimedia Partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. And of course, we are proud to have our multimedia marketing partnership with your Big West.
Big West, only the bold.
Have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. God bless, no stress, do your best. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, this is Wake Up Call. Thank you to the Big West for trusting Dan Tortora Broadcast Media and Wake Up Call to tell your story in a way that's never been done before by any conference anywhere in America quite like this. We journeyed out west today and made history, and we've only just begun. Take care, stay safe, we'll talk soon.